Trade while you sleep. Yes, you heard that correctly. That is soon going to be possible through a product called Raindrop. And today I'm going to be interviewing the CEO and founder of Raindrop, Carl Sachs. Hope you all enjoy. What up, everybody, and welcome to the interview with the one and only Carl Sachs, the CEO and founder of Raindrop. It is completely changing the game with AI and more. And here I have with me the one and only Carl once again, and we're just going to hop straight into it. So, Carl, who are you? Tell the audience who you are and all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for having me, Aaron. So essentially, I'm Carl Sachs, like you said. I have a background in cryptocurrency development for about 10 years now. I got into the industry in about 2012, 2013, very, very young. And I kind of drifted away for a little bit, went to college, ended up learning a bunch of coding. And then when I got out of the schooling, I decided that I wanted to apply it in cryptocurrency. And then now with Raindrop, like you mentioned, what we're building, the AI portfolio management platform is kind of bringing that all full circle and putting together both trading and AI, which together is changing the way that we view investing as a whole.
Yeah, so I want to dive a little bit into, what you're building right now and how it's changing the game and that just a little broad overview of what you're building. You kind of just talked about it real quick, but if you could just reiterate.
Sure. Yeah, so essentially, statistically, 80% of the cryptocurrency market, or generally most markets, are automated, right? So the people with the most money are not sitting there pressing buy with their own fingers. They're using automated systems to process that for them. It allows for latency advantages, which means they can get into the trades quicker than their competition, stuff like that. It ends up giving them a huge profitability, an advantage over the competition when it comes to that. So what we're doing is we're bringing that to retail. We're allowing people who might not have access to that type of technology, strictly through our platform. All you have to do is hook up your favorite exchange platform. As it stands now, you can just click once or twice and you have a bot trading for you. There's no needing to know the market. There's no prior knowledge of coding needed. There's a ton of stuff that we're doing on that front for the users. We have an AI portion of it, like you had mentioned, where we're kind of taking what a financial advisor does for users nowadays in the financial realm, and we're putting that into AI. So the AI is going to be the one that's managing your portfolio for you, not a fund manager at JP Morgan or whatever it's going to be. So those are just some of the things we're building, and eventually we'd like to branch out and release our AI bot creator, which would allow users like ourselves to create a bot using just plain text. So a lot of things in the works, and I'm really excited to bring it into beta in about 3 to 4 weeks here for everybody to start giving a shot.
Yeah, and if you can touch on, so AI has been the big boom, all the hype recently, and my question is, how is AI changing the landscape of investment management, and how are the trading bots, changing the whole game? If you could just give us a little breakdown right there.
Sure. Yeah. So essentially, the way I look at it now is, as it stands, you give your money to a financial advisor or someone who's like, I'm going to, make you some money with what you give me. They can view the market. They know the market well. They've been in the market for some 30, 40 years, 50 years. So they're very knowledgeable, right? More than your average person that's just walking around with maybe have gotten an inheritance or something like that, and they don't know what to do with it. So you're going to obviously give it to them as they know what they're doing. The problem with that is they can't see everything that's going on at once. And that's where AI comes in. So AI can take everything that's happening in the world at a split second and analyze that across past experiences, potential future experiences, what's going on currently, and execute based on those decisions. So I think the advantage there is strictly it's not a knowledge-based thing. It's strictly a timing factor. So it's going to know as much as your best financial advisor in the world, but it's going to be able to see more sort of like an eagle eye versus just having what's available in front of them at their firms.
Yeah, that sounds great. Now, my next question is, how could somebody, let's just say you work a regular 9 to 5, you work at, or you're a construction worker or something, and you want to get into the AI trading, you want to use Raindrop. So how could someone, just a normal person who's not that into crypto, they don't have really time to look at the charts all day, how could they utilize AI and Raindrop to, increase their money and all that?
Yeah, so I think that's the most important part of Raindrop. I think that's kind of what we are releasing it for is, personally, I'm a trader and I have been for a very, very long time. And I can only tell you the amount of times I've sat in front of the screen from 10 p.m. at night until 7 in the morning and ended the day with, even profitability or a loss. It's time consuming. You have to know what you're doing. And even if you know what you're doing, you're not guaranteed to win. And I'm not saying you're guaranteed to win with the trading bots either, but they have a higher likelihood of being able to see things when you don't, just based on their what they're able to see. Now, a normal user, if they want to get into trading, if they wanted to do that, they'd have to do maybe 6 months to a year of solid learning, and a lot of times that involves just learning on the charts, losing your money, figuring out why you lost your money and stuff like that. With Raindrop, you just kind of hook up and you just let it trade for you. You can go about and do everything else in your life. There's no needing to find out, oh, is the ETF going to get approved? Like, you don't care, right? Because the bots are going to take care of that for you. You can just go work. You can work your 9 to 5 and still gain from the market or benefit from the movements in the market. Just a lot of things that a normal person, who even traders, are not able to take advantage of at the current speed of the market.
Yeah, I really like that, because most people, and a lot of people outside the crypto space, don't understand that in order to be a full-time trader, or really even just trade and be profitable over a long time frame, you have to, dedicate a lot of hours. It becomes basically a job. It is basically a full-time job. And most people who are working just regular 9 to 5s, and they have a family at home and all this other shit, they don't have time to be looking at a screen all day. So that's my favorite part about the whole thing, because it's lowering the barrier into, day trading and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So you talked about a little bit about the the TradFi and the boomer stuff. So I want you to explain the clash and the dynamic / why you think the clash and dynamic between AI versus a traditional financial advisor, why AI is better, and why you should ditch your financial advisor.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, kind of a little bit, when it comes to just being able to see everything at once. So right now, there are plenty of great financial advisors that will get you solid returns. They're going to take 2% of your capital. They're going to take a percentage of your gains. At Raindrop, we're just going to charge you a flat monthly fee, $200, and that will manage your entire portfolio for you, no matter the size of it. And that's subject to change on certain things, depending on certain stuff as we launch. But essentially, that's what we're aiming for and what we're going to offer. It's a low barrier to entry, like you said, a low cost barrier of entry. And it's just available to anybody who wants to use it. If you were to go to a financial advisor, there are barriers to entry for that. Some of them require capital minimums. Some of them require, prior it's like prior experience with financial products and markets. Like, they're not always just going to take in somebody who's like, I don't even know how to score the markets. I don't even know what an EMA is. I don't know what the Bollinger Bands are and stuff like that. Like, a lot of these people aren't going to deal with someone like that unless they're specifically tailored to do that. And so with us, that's kind of where AI comes in. It doesn't matter your capital size. It doesn't matter your portfolio size. It's going to manage it for you whichever way it sees fit. And you can put in the type of investment styles that you like as well. But essentially, we recommend that you just kind of let the AI take its course for you.
Yeah, and I actually kind of a personal, well, not technically personal, but an antidote to this. My grandma actually had a financial advisor and all that stuff, and she literally got rugged, like, straight up. So it was like for years too, and it just ended up it all ended up being a flop and all that. And I think that's kind of the great part about AI, is because you're not necessarily trusting. It's you're kind of you have a verified bot that's doing it for you. You kind of know, or already know what's going to go on, instead of just like some guy who could just be grifting and just completely fuck you over. Like,
yeah, I think that's a big part of it too. Like, and that's like, people can't guarantee gains. I at Raindrop cannot guarantee gains like that. Yeah. It's just not a thing that happens in markets. Like, that's just not a realistic outlook on the markets. But what Raindrop does is allow you to take time in your life to go raise your kids, like you said, and still benefit from the movements, right? You're not always going to win, but you're not always going to win with a financial advisor either, right? So just being able to see everything at once and having the opportunity to take advantage of those while maybe you're sleeping, versus your financial advisor, who is definitely sleeping at 4:30 in the morning, right? He's not there placing trades for you. Raindrop is, right? So, there's a lot of advantages, and there's also some disadvantages. But I think as time goes on and AI becomes more thorough with the way that it kind of views the world and the markets, I think that we see a lot more transition into this type of thinking.
Yeah, and just for the audience to get them in the loop and everything, we all love crypto here, but it is kind of volatile, and it is a predatory market. what is, Raindrop's relationship or going to be with commodities, TradFi, all that stuff?
Sure. Yeah. No. So yeah, I mean, I guess eventually come Q2 of 2024, that's kind of what we're shooting for, is we're going to support commodities, equities, swaps, all sorts of different things that people are going to be able to request or get on our platform. Let's say you work at a hedge fund right now and you have this bot that you've been creating and it does really, really good work. And it's on a specific, let's just say gold, right? We will be able to, in Q2 of 2024, offer your bot on our marketplace and in the portfolio management, allow people to buy traditional stocks or anything like that. So we could say, I want this AI portfolio manager to manage AI stocks for me or tech stocks for me. That is definitely something that's in the works. We recognize that it's a massive market. I mean, the market share there is beyond words when it comes to crypto. But crypto is where our heart started and stays. So we're going to start with that, offer that to our users. And then once the licensing comes through, we'll be offering everything under the sun that we can.
Yeah, I think that's really good because you go out there and you leave crypto Twitter for a second, and there's a large portion of people who they don't like crypto and they have their skepticism, which is
Right.
completely fine, and they should be able to be skeptical of it, and they prefer to have the more safer, although it is really safer, but the
Correct.
less volatile route, which I think is great that you guys are supporting all that. Now, I kind of want to ask you sort of a macro, kind of a personal question to you, just get the audience to know you a little better. Why are you personally bullish on AI? Because there's people saying out there, I don't personally believe this, but there's people saying out there, hey, this AI thing could be a fad, it's not going to be relevant, it's not going to change the world. What is your whole take on AI and how it could impact the world and all that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll lead with, like, when you said that, and like I've been hearing the same thing, right? Like I went, quick story, I went to go rent a car at the airport 2 months ago, and she's like, oh, what are you in town for? And I'm like, well, I just started this AI company, about a year ago. And she's like, oh, I don't like you, So, I mean, that thought process is definitely out there. The whole thought process of AI is here to destroy the world. It's just a fad. It's not going to work. I heard these same things when I was buying Bitcoin at $50. I mean, they're all the same things. And you see this, for something to be big like that, you have to have a counterparty. Otherwise, everyone's going to get in on it. And it's going to be, I mean, I'm trying to think of an example of something that did that without, no, I'll just stay away from that. But essentially, yeah, I mean, I think that AI is going to do, right now, it's going to do a bunch of things for me personally in my daily life. If I want to take some notes in a meeting, I'll bring in my AI and it'll just take the notes for me. If I want to have some coding help, right, I'll just have it code something for me while I go work something else. And then I'll review the code and see, where is my issue currently at. It does so many different things for so many different people. And the one thing I don't see it being applied in very much right now is investing. And that may be because someone has already kind of cracked the code, so to speak, and they're not trying to, make it available to the public, because that is a problem, is scaling out something like this. It's something that becomes difficult when, everybody's coming onto it. So, I mean, AI is going to do the same thing that Bitcoin did. And that's my true belief. And I've thought that way since I first heard about it and started using it. And I'm going to hold on to that until it doesn't. I mean, I think that this is a huge thing that we have on our hands and an opportunity that all of us have right in front of us.
Yeah, I think the people who are, talking shit about AI and saying it's not the future, it's a bunch of cope. It's really, you have to learn how to use it and utilize it to advance your life, or you're kind of just going to get left behind. Pretty funny. Just right before this interview, I was actually, at Checkers with blockchain boy, aka Lucas, and we are actually, for the drive-through, talking to the person, we were talking to AI. So
No way.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, it was the first time I've ever, seen it too. Pretty wild stuff. I think a lot of stuff's going to end up getting automated. There is, some downside, I guess, for some people losing jobs, but at the end of the day, it's inevitable. It's kind of like, the internet or Bitcoin. It's just going to happen.
Right.
And there's really nothing you can do about it. So
No.
it's better you just learn how to use it to utilize, improve your life and all that than
Right.
just
No,
sit
yeah,
around.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And I see that in, like, people that I know that are running companies as well have also been using AI to handle certain things within their, code base or team management or whatever it is. And they're saving money. Like, I don't know why someone wouldn't do that unless you're, a company that's so big that they don't have to care. Right. And I think that they should, even if they don't have to. I think this is just something to take advantage of. I mean, it's a huge, huge opportunity for everybody. I mean, it can Yeah. I could get into it for hours,
Yeah.
honestly.
I think it's like we saw ChatGPT, how quickly that became, extremely popular. I think it's just a matter of time before everybody's, if you're not using AI in the workplace or, to improve your life, it's just like you're completely missing out on an opportunity. But now I want to, kind of shift gears to what are your thoughts on, the state of crypto right now, the crypto market? Where do you think it's going?
Yeah.
Just give us a little outlook on that.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, I've been through a bunch of different cycles with cryptocurrency. I'm seeing a lot of the same things this round as I've seen in previous times. So my outlook is going to stay the same, that cryptocurrency is going to be a very, very, very prominent piece of our future, our kids' future. I don't think that when looking at cryptocurrency, a 3 to 5, 10-year outlook is really the right way to look at it. I think we need to look at it in a 50 to 100-year outlook. So personally, I've had banks absolutely cut me off based on the businesses that I run that involve cryptocurrency. I have problems withdrawing from the bank every single time. Like, it's without fail that I don't even use my bank anymore. It's something that I think is here for so many different reasons. Think about like a house, right? Like, how can you, take away all of the paperwork that goes in between. You could literally automate a house sale with cryptocurrency if you really want to. There's so many different use cases aside from just being your own bank that I think there will always be an option for people to use a bank, right? Whether that be fiat or cryptocurrency, but it definitely is here to stay. And I don't think price really has anything to do with it. I do think that price will stabilize if that happens. I don't think we're going to see it go up and down 50% a day, on some bad news, the pandemic or whatever it's going to be. I think it's going to stabilize, and I think that it's going to become a more commodity-like asset, which it is. At the end of the day. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I could go down 80% right now. I'd still be buying. So.
Yeah. And now my next question is, the legend Arthur Hayes recently went on a podcast and was talking, saying, hey, the next cycle, the big narrative is going to be crypto and AI, kind of meshed together. What are your thoughts on the two, coming together, what it could bring to blockchain technology, AI coming together? Of course, with Raindrop, you're already in the investing scene with AI and all that. But what is your whole thoughts on the crypto AI combined narrative?
Yeah, I definitely think that it's here to stay. It's the same. It's two industries that are going to be extremely prominent in the future. What I do think is going to happen is there's going to be a very, very hard transition into that. So teams are going to have a lot of different bugs coming up with that. We're going to see a lot of different things that we don't even know exist yet in cryptocurrency or AI, right? I think that from what we're building at Raindrop and our models that we have trained over the market, there's so much we can. It's been a year, right? We've been building for about a year, but the amount of progress we've made is insane. And part of that is because of AI, right? And part of that is because of our team just being able to use AI, right? And so as more teams become able to use AI, I think they'll drip that into their cryptocurrency projects. I think a lot more auditing will be done through AI. I think a lot of investing. I think trading bots become a huge thing. You saw Unibot, right? And that wasn't necessarily a trading bot, so to speak. That was more of an interface that makes it easier to place on-chain orders, right? On-chain trades. But once you give people the access to something that they can use while not having to look at and still benefit the same way they would have, if not better, due to the risk management, I think that we're going to see it's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be a whole new realm of investments.
Yeah, I definitely do believe in the crypto AI narrative for the next cycle. Of course, there's going to be narratives that pop up out of nowhere, and we're not going to see them coming, and whatever new Ponzi on the block that's
right.
Spinning something. But I do believe that AI crypto is probably going to be the next big macro narrative for 2025. Now let's talk a little bit about. You don't have to get into detail, like technical detail and all that, but let's talk a little bit about the bots on Raindrop. What are these bots? Who's presenting? Who's submitting the bots? Who's making the bots? That kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. So essentially, we have gone out into the industry and hedge funds, whatever it be, and we've taken some of the best bot people that have been around, for the bot authors, we call them, and that have been around for years, creating bots, learning the markets, training models over the markets. and we brought them onto our platform. Now, what we do is we offer a higher commission than any of our competitors, right? So our main goal is not to make money on the bot marketplace. Our main goal is to literally give users the access to those bots and bring all of the best bot authors into one place, right? Because the AI stuff is all going to come next year, Q2, Q3 of 2024. Right now, what we're focusing on is getting the best bots that are out there right now, because people do have AI bots made. People have bots that trade based on technicalities in the market. And what we've done is we've just put them on our marketplace, and our user is just going to be able to come on there and subscribe to them right off bat with the launch. We have a couple from hedge funds. We have a couple just senior guys that have been doing this as a hobby for a long time. But the biggest thing about it is you can see a verified trade history for every single one of the bots. So you're not going to be like, right now, if you want to go buy a trading bot, like the trading bot person is going to show you their earnings, right? It's usually on a Google Sheet, a Google Docs, and you're like, okay, this is great, and it looks legitimate, but you have no real idea of knowing whether that's legitimate or not. And that's one of our biggest selling points, is that you can come onto our platform and know that that bot took those trades at that exact time, verified through us. It's a level of security for both the author and the user. And I think that's kind of the sweet spot that we're trying to hit there.
Yeah, I think that's really good, because we saw it in 2021 on TikTok, and this is probably going on Twitter, but just, I was really looking at the TikTok in 2021. There is a lot of people coming out with their own, trading bots, and they're scamming, or they stole indicators, or they did a bunch of other bullshit. And there was a huge problem with that, which I think is, pretty terrible, but not surprising. In an emerging industry, there's always going to be bullshit that's coming out. So I think it's great that the authors are verified and valid, so people actually know, what they're using up front and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yep, 100%. And going off of that, in Q2 of next year, we also plan to support like Telegram and Discord groups. So, you have obviously seen, if you've been in a bull market, the ads for the crypto trading group and all of that. And it's the same idea with us as our trading bots. You come through us, you can verify all of your trades, you make a high commission, and we'll bring our users to you. And that's kind of what we're aiming for then, is allowing all of that kind of scammy atmosphere to kind of dwindle down over the next run and kind of be a verified place for them to sell that.
Yeah, and I think trust is one of the most important parts of, I know we say trust don't verify, but at the end of the day, sometimes it comes down to trust. It's like a lot of people in, the macro, they don't really trust crypto anymore after 2022 when you saw FTX collapse, Luna collapse. So I think having high security and, people who are trustworthy, valid, not fucking scammers, not committing fraud, I think that's a really important part to this whole thing. If you, to get an application to be mass adopted by and have, an older 60-year-old man trading, using Raindrop, I think that's a very important part to it and all.
Right.
But yeah, just to, if we're going to wrap things up here, just a couple more questions. What is your outlook on, Raindrop? What should people be expecting from you and Raindrop, and, let's just say in the short term or maybe long term, or whatever you want to tell us?
Sure. Yeah. So Raindrop is tying up its testing phase, and it's going to be going into beta in about a month. And we'll slowly be bringing people on for that. We want to make sure that everything is as solid as can be, more than we even have it now. We're just taking every precaution we can. That's why we've been building for a year, and we've held off on launching until we were absolutely ready to go. We're at that point now. And when we launch the bot marketplace, soon after that, you should expect to see, like I said, the AI bot creator. You just type in text and it'll create a bot for you. The AI portfolio management, which we went through as well. And then shortly after that, we'll be tying it all together with an exchange and kind of allowing the user to utilize all of those products in one seamless platform. That's the general roadmap. I have a lot of details that I'd like to share, but we'll probably save that for the future. But I'm very excited. And if you are interested in getting onto Raindrop for beta, please don't hesitate to shoot me a message. I'd love to get you on.
Yeah. And one last thing, where should people find you if they want to get involved with Raindrop, they want to follow you, all that stuff? Shout out all your socials. It's the time to show.
Yeah. Raindrop on Twitter, @RaindropTrade. And same on LinkedIn. And then we have a Discord. We're not sure if we're going to do the Discord or not yet, for sure. We have all of our authors in there. But for now, we're going to keep it shut, because we have a full support platform on our site. So right now, just go to the Twitter. That's where we post all of our updates. We've been super quiet about it. We're going to be launching out of stealth here in about a month, like I said. So you guys are actually the first to hear about it, and the first interview ever about Raindrop. So super excited. I'm very happy for being on here. I appreciate you for taking the time to do that.
Yeah, and I'm just honored to be able to, host you and everything and talk about Raindrop because I'm super, super bullish on it, guys. It looks really dope. I highly recommend you guys go follow Raindrop Trade on Twitter and all that. Go check out the website, super clean and everything. But yeah, that's going to wrap up our interview here with Carl Sachs, the CEO and founder of Raindrop. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment, leave a like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.